Welcome everyone. In this video, we will be completing English Grammar Lesson 3, Verb. What is verb? All the words that describe an action, state and possession is called verb. Verbs are words that show actions, motions, doing or state of being. They can also demonstrate how someone feels. Verbs are an absolutely necessary part of sentences. A sentence cannot work without an action verb. Verbs are related to a lot of other factors like the subject, person, number, tense, mood, voice, etc. So, one way we can say that verb are doing verbs, being verbs, and having verbs. Now, what are these verbs? Doing verbs are action verbs like eat, walk, talk, dance. Being verbs are existence verbs is, am, are, were, be. Having verbs means possession verbs has, have, had. Verbs can be classified into main or principal verb, auxiliary verb, transitive and intransitive verb, finite and infinite verb, regular and irregular verb, and modal verbs. Let us talk about them individually. First one is main or principal verb. The verb which are used to denote any action in the sentence are called the main verbs or principal verbs. They can change according to the other words in the sentence. Let us see the examples. She dances well. He danced well yesterday. Ram wrote a letter. If you notice in all these sentences, dances, danced, and wrote, these are the main verbs and changing according to the person and the tense. They are also called the lexical verbs. It talks mainly of the action. Second one is auxiliary or helping verbs. An auxiliary verb does not give information about the action but the time of the action. It gives information about the time of the main verb of the sentence. Example is, am, are, were, was. She is writing, which is a present. She was writing, which is happening in the past. Is and was are helping verbs here. Auxiliary verbs don't have meaning of their own. Next is transitive and intransitive verbs. A verb is a transitive when someone or something in the sentence receives the action. That means it has some object for sure. You find the object by asking what or whom. Example, Radha bought a dress. Radha bought what? A dress. Next example, she ate an ice cream. She ate what? An ice cream. Intransitive verb is a verb that do not have an object to receive the action. Example, she sang. He laughed. I danced. There is no object to receive the action here, so it is intransitive. In all these sentences, the verb is performing the action but no object to receive it. Next is finite and infinite verbs. Let me explain you this by differentiating the two. Finite verb forms act as verb. Non-finite verb forms do not act as a verb. Finite verb acts as the main verb of the sentence or a clause. Non-infinite verb act as nouns, adjectives, and adverbs. Finite verbs indicate number, person, and tense. Non-finite verbs do not indicate number, person, and tense. Infinite verbs are used in the present tense and past tense only. Non-finite verbs are infinitive, gerunds, and participles. Let us see the example. She writes a letter. If it is she, it will become verb plus s or es. If it is more like they write a letter, it becomes just the verb, first form. Example for infinite verbs will be she likes to write or they are swimming. Infinite verbs are further classified into three types. Infinitive, which means the sentence will definitely have to plus verb. Example, I like to paint. And gerunds, where the verb ends with ing and the participles which are used as an adjective. He is a trained doctor. Here, trained is a participle of word train and as it is used as adjective. Next comes the regular and irregular verbs. Regular verbs can be changed to past or past participle by adding d, ed, or t in the end of the verb. Example, watch becomes watched, watched, and bend becomes bent, bent. But irregular verbs are formed by changing the vowels of the base forms. Example, arise is changed to arose, arisen. Blow is changed to blew and blown. Choose changes to chose and chosen. Next comes the modal verbs. These verbs are used before the main or the root verb to express permission, suggestion, advice, ability, request, obligation, etc. Example, may, might, can, could, shall, should, must, will, would, etc. Example, I can do 10 push ups at once. You must concentrate on your classes. This finishes our video on verb. Thank you for watching and have a great day.